Hey, good morning, everybody. It's live finally. Whoo! Hi. Audio problems this morning again for some reason. I think. Can you hear me? I have this whole system, and it runs off of a bunch of different platforms. YouTube, and in fact, we'll be adding some more platforms and stuff coming up here, but. So for some reason, it just wanted to give us issues, and here we are finally on here a little bit late, but we've been talking about God's love, and someone had sent me a message, or the section on God's love is coming up, but hey, I just got a text. Major delay, is that what's happening here? Can someone let me know? Or audio or something's a major delay. So let's see. Yeah, it says major delay. Can you elaborate? Can you hear me, or do I need to restart things and start over? But anyway, we're going to talk about censorship this morning. Excuse me. That's been a hot topic again lately. I posted on my personal page, Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook and things. He had made this whole big post and video about censorship, and I think if you followed it at all, you know that the government had put pressure on him in 2020, 2021 to censor things, and he wrote this letter months ago, and he's hopefully turning a page here, and it's getting a little bit better. But the thing about censorship that is so dangerous, in my opinion, I actually had posted about this several times, but this very specific post back in November of 2020. But I said self-censorship is rampant. We had seen that in 2020 with all the things that had happened there in March, and the government shutdown, and all the things. I don't need to remind you or say the words, but all the things that were going on at that time. I'm a curious person, and I ask a lot of questions. Well, I was literally taken off of Facebook and YouTube and different things for a bit, and very specifically some videos. But I had posted this because what I had seen from pre-March 2020 and all the things that had happened there up until this point was very, very different. And we had seen a lot of people that were self-censoring, that they were afraid to say things, that they were afraid of their job or whatever, to say things publicly. And you had to be careful what you said to what. Literally, the state of Minnesota had set up a telephone number to rat on your neighbors and all these other things. Weird times, man, in my opinion. And so that's a dangerous thing. But what we have as a byproduct of those things is self-censorship. So I said self-censorship is rampant. Don't allow anyone to censor you, especially yourself. Now, let that sink in a minute while I say we need to have the ability, the public square, whatever, that we can face to face, in whatever fashion that is. We can say, hey, this is what I think. These are the questions that I have. I'm curious about this. What happened there? We can't flat out lie. I think that has to be met with some of the most severe of consequences. I mean, we've had a lot of things come out. I'm not going to get into the details of any of these things, but we've had a lot of things come out where people had accused rape, had accused of burglary, and all kinds of different things, that it was 20 years ago or whatever, and the guilt has been overwhelming, as it should be. But the consequences should still be there, in my opinion. That's my opinion. And I'm not going to self-censor to avoid hurting somebody's feelings. That my opinion is that we need to come down on people that flat out lie and that are trying to push some sort of narrative for whatever purpose. We need to have the ability to ask those questions. So there's been so many people, and I'll say this again, that send me messages. I will absolutely never publicly share what your name is or give away your dog's name or whatever so that somebody might know who it is. Absolutely zero chance of that ever happening. Um, I understand that fear. I understand what it's like to, be afraid there. And people often say that, Matt, you don't understand. Well, I have literally written proof that I was canceled for speaking engagements because of the questions that I would ask. And it was suggested in a heavy fashion to me that I stop saying certain things and asking certain questions, or else. Well, I lost literal speaking engagements because of it. And I will continue to ask those questions. I've often said, just because I'm wrong doesn't make you right, meaning that, there's a lot of questions to be asked, meaning that there's a lot of nuance to things, and there's opinion to things. It's really important we have that ability, that we are able to share our ideas, and that we don't feel like we need we can't allow ourselves to do that. People are afraid of cancel culture, afraid of attacks, afraid that they're not going to get along with their neighbor or their coworker or things like that. It's still happening. It's sad. It's discouraging. And it's painful. It hurts me to see that kind of stuff. We should be able to understand that because we have a conversation, just because our opinions are what they are does not mean that we hate each other. But it doesn't give free license to not have the ability to ask questions to clarify if someone does say something. So what I say to this about self-censorship is that understand your value. I really want you to understand your value. I do this, and I ask those questions because I value your opinion. I think just because we don't see eye to eye or whatever does not mean that I don't appreciate your opinion. There's several people that I really, really value their opinion and their perspective, and we disagree on many, many things. But what we do agree on are the things that bind us together as people, as humans, as friends. So I think that is super important. I value your contribution to the world. Even when you don't feel like you're contributing, you do, and you are. I value you when you share your accomplishments. I think that it's important to do that, even though maybe you don't feel accomplished. That's something that people say that, we want to know more. That's something that I don't. 2024 was a very unique year for me, and a lot of massive changes. Really honestly, the world will look at that as a negative change. And I'm looking at it as an opportunity to be able to be more proactive on sharing some of my philosophy and thoughts, and a lot of the things that I've diligently and with perseverance done over these past dozen years after losing my daughter in a car crash. But I value that, saying that I value your failing forward. I think that it's super important that when you feel that you failed, that I value that you've learned something through that. So, going forward with that failure is super important to me. I do what I do. Since the very beginning, I set up a mission statement, and it's very personal. I asked my kids questions and family questions, and it's a very personal mission statement to this. And I do what I do because I believe that each of you are shiny. I believe that one of the sections is that you are strong. I believe that. I believe that you have the ability to be strong, to have strength. I believe that you are hope to this world, that you certainly can be. I believe that you are influential. I believe that you are you. And in other words, you are unique. There's nobody like you. So that's super important to me. And I hope you can hear my heart on that, because most of the things and the big reason I'm doing this now is that people are like, everything's so fake and so fast and so AI, and no one has, genuine things or opinions. And I really hope that you see that and you listen to that and listen through the entirety of conversations, not with just me, but with other people. We can't get a notion of what anything is, how things are happening with just a 1-minute video or whatever to have people to do this. But I'm going to leave you with this, and we're going to get back into God's love tomorrow because we're already over 10 minutes. But I sent a comment, and again, I'm not going to say who or what or why, but I'm going to read this to you. And this person's heart, I think, is in a really good place. And this is what I mean about censorship, because I was asked, not by this person, I want to make that super clear. I was asked by two people to take this my comment down, my reply down to this person's comments, and that's the censorship that I'm talking about. And sometimes in our gut, I got the first message, and then I got the second one, and my gut was like, oh, maybe I should take it down. It offended somebody. But we need to offend people. We need to ask questions. We need to give our opinion. I think there's so much power in that. And, but also understand that our opinions need to be challenged. So I'll read this to you. You're asking to set the stage for positive vaccinations, this person said. And that's what I said in this comment. And I agree that vaccines should be a positive outcome once someone chooses to get a vaccine based on all information known, not info that's chosen to be given to the general population, but absolutely all of the info, withholding information, forcing vaccines on people, or else. And I put in here, insert multiple consequences that were handed out with a blank line, tons of them that we know of, is not, nor should it ever be considered setting the stage for positive vaccine deployment. And this was just literally a couple of days ago, so over the weekend. This kind of stuff is still happening, and that, we have a lot of information out now on these things, and I think that we need to be able to have open discussions about it and why some of this kind of stuff was hidden the way it was hidden. And I'm talking like I'm not trying to get political on this. It's all political parties. It's all people. We should not have this stuff hidden from us. We should have all the information to make the right choices. I'm not anti-vax whatsoever, but I am pro-information. Like, we need to know what is going on. Tomorrow, we're going to dig into what about the love of God kind of section that we've been studying in Scripture, and what love, by definition of Scripture, is, not by world standards. But I left you with this on Friday. I'm going to leave you with this again, that we're going to really dig into. God's love manifests itself in ministering to the need and joy of those he loves and protecting them from evil. So we need to minister to the need, not the want, but the need and the joy. And the joy, really, to me, the joy is that inner relationship with Jesus Christ. That's the only way that, in my opinion, that I have the joy that I have. And protecting them from evil. We need to protect people from evil. And that is, we're going to look at what Scripture tells us and how we need to do that. And it's uncomfortable, and it's about disciplining. So we're at 14 and a half minutes. So we're going to see you tomorrow. Have a great Monday. Full moon this morning in Minnesota. I think it looked like a full moon anyway, but super bright morning already before the sun's even up, and it is bitterly cold. 18 below Fahrenheit, wind chill in a lot of places that I looked at. So it's terrible. We'll see you tomorrow, the 14th already tomorrow, Tuesday of January. Have a great day.